Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Abs and Core. Jazzy here, Program Manager with Access at Autodesk, and I've got a good core workout planned for us today. You will need at least one dumbbell or a kettlebell if you have it. If not, that's totally okay. I'll show you what to do if you don't have any weights today. But we're going to use that just for one exercise today. So yeah, no worries. If you don't have any weights, I'll show you what to do without them. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with our demo. So we're going to do 3 rounds here today. We're going to do 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. We're going to be on the ground the whole time. One exercise we're going to do on our stomach, but the rest we're going to be on our back. So we're going to start at first with some butterfly sit-ups. So we're going to have our feet, the soles of our feet are going to be facing, touching each other. We're going to lay down here and we're going to come up, touch the toes and back down. So touch the ground above your head, exhale, use the core, touch the hands and back down. So that's going to be our first movement. And then we're going to go ahead and flip over for some Superman. So this is going to work a little bit more on the glutes here. We're going to have our arms stretched out in front, face down towards the ground. We're going to squeeze the glutes, lift up, hold for 3 seconds, and back down. So it's going to be lift up, squeeze, 1, 2, 3, and back down. So that is going to be our second movement. And then for the third and fourth, we're going to do Turkish Get Ups. We're going to do a half of that today. So we only need one dumbbell. We're going to do one hand, we're going to do one arm, and then we're going to switch over to the other one. So for this, we're going to have one arm outstretched, one leg on the ground, one foot on the ground. We're going to come up onto our elbow and back down. So exhale up to the elbow and back down. So I think when we did this one, I can't remember the one that was, we didn't come up onto the elbow. So that's going to be that progression here today. So we're starting up, coming up onto the elbow and back down. Exhale up and back down. So that is going to be those two. And then after that, we're going to do dead bugs here, but we're going to do something a little different. The socks keep moving. So we're going to do a core activation from the opposite side. So what we're going to do here, so we're going to have both arms and knees up in the air here. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to press it against my right knee. So my right knee is going to come up. We're going to come down, one leg, one arm, back to center. So we're holding the opposite arm, the opposite knee with the opposite arm. And if we press against that knee, that's where that core activation is going to come from. So we're going to do that on one side and then onto the other side, extend and come back to center, making sure that belly button is pressed into the ground, pushing into the knee, really getting that nice activation there. So that is going to be our whole circuit workout for today. So we're going to go ahead and get started with going into our cat-cow to get our neutral spine. Couldn't remember what it was called for a second. So we're on the hands and knees. We're going to start with a nice big deep breath, looking up. So inhaling and exhaling, pushing our shoulders toward the ceiling. And inhaling back to that first position. Exhaling, rounding our back. And we're going to go ahead and do one more. So we're going to inhale, come up. And exhale, pushing the shoulders up. And coming back to that neutral spine. So we've gone each way in the extreme. Now we're neutral here. And from here, we're just going to do a couple of quadruped rocks back and forth. Keep our core engaged. So we're going to rock back, bring the glutes to the heels, and then squeeze and come back up. So we're going to go through that a couple times, going at our own pace. Hopefully warming those hips up. I know things like dead bugs, especially for me, they can kind of start to hurt the hips a little bit. Just gonna warm up our hips a little bit here. And one more rock back. And back to center. All right, I think we should be ready to rock and roll after that. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready. So we're starting with our butterfly sit-ups. We are doing 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. We're gonna go through this 3 times through, and then we're gonna do a quick cool down, and then we'll be done for the day. All right, we're ready to get started. So starting with our butterfly sit-ups, 45 seconds of work, 3, 2, 1, and go. So feet are together. We're going to touch the ground above our head, come back up, touch our feet, and back to the ground. So really exhaling, making sure we're engaging that core, so lock that core in like someone's punching you in the stomach, or we are crushing that apple with our stomach here. So crush that apple, come up, try and keep those feet on the ground, touch the feet, and back down. I really think my abs are still sore from last week. They're permanently sore forever. Just kidding, but it feels like it. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we're going to flip on to our stomachs. We're going to do Superman. So we're going to squeeze those glutes, lift our legs and our arms up. 3, 2, 1. We're also going to aim here for a 3-second hold at the top. So we're going to squeeze those glutes. 1, 2, 3. Back down. We don't necessarily want to lift our arms and legs up super high here. We just want to lift it high enough where our glutes are engaged, our back is engaged. We're working on having a strong pillar through this movement. So shoulders, hips, and torso. So it makes up our pillar, which is going to be a little bit more than just those superficial abs. So that's why I like to throw in some exercises like this. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we're going to do our half Turkish get up, and we're going to come up onto the elbow for these ones. If you don't have a dumbbell, that's okay. You can just hold your arm up and perform without the weight. 3, 2, 1. So starting with left arm, we got one foot on the ground, one leg on the ground. We're going to come up. Oh, I'm in the wrong direction. We're gonna come up onto the elbow and back down. So we're squeezing through the core. So if we're crushing the apple or if we're bracing as if someone is gonna punch us in the stomach, whatever verbiage works best for you and your imagination. Really coming up on the elbows, we're going a little bit taller than we did the last time we did these. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So getting ready for that. I'm using my right arm now. I started with the left arm. 3, 2, 1. So if you don't have any weights, my hand that has the dumbbell, we are just going to hold above our head as if we did have a weight. Well, we will still get the same effect out of the movement if we don't have a dumbbell. So really keeping that core engaged, keep that core tight like someone's punching you in the stomach, coming up and back down. Great job. Coming up onto that elbow. Really getting a little bit more core work in here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our dead bugs. We're going to take our opposite hand to the opposite knee. We're going to hold that there to give us a little bit more core activation. 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to start with my left arm to my right leg. So that means my right arm, my left leg are going to come down and back up. So we're really holding onto that knee, keeping that belly button into the ground, exhaling, as we return to that starting position. So by doing this is a different way to really engage the core versus normally if you've taken a lot of my classes, usually when we do a core assist, we have the dumbbells in our hands above our head. If you feel that a little bit more, feel free to do that one instead. Dropping my foot too low here. 3, 2, 1. So if you just heard me, I was dropping my foot too low. I was starting to feel that in my hips versus in my core. So that's why we really want to focus on the movement, press the belly button into the ground, go nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. So opposite side now. So my right arm is on the right leg. My right leg is extending out. My left arm is extending out. So a little bit different of a movement, but this will help us use our core a little bit differently. Having to stabilize through the core as we pull up. Man, my legs are getting tight today. Great job. Keep pushing. We're gonna do a few more here. 3, 2, 1. All right. And that is it for round 1. So we're gonna go ahead and do that 2 more times through. We have our butterfly sit-ups first. We're gonna have those feet together. 3, 2, 1. So tap the ground above your head. Exhale, come up, touch the toes, and back down. So really important to engage the core before we lift off the ground, not using our momentum. The more we exhale, the more we're gonna help our core be engaged, really making sure that we are engaging the core. So as we're laying here, we're gonna lock it in. So like someone's punching you, you should be able to feel the difference. So also placing your hands over your core can kind of help to make sure you are engaging that properly. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have our Supermans up next. We're gonna hold for 3 seconds at the top. Flip it over. 3, 2, 1. So we're squeezing our glutes, face down to the ground the whole time. Come up, hold for 3 seconds. We're gonna feel this squeeze through the glutes. So if we feel it's too much in the back, that means we're really hyperextending a little too much. So we want to make sure that we're going to an amount where we're squeezing the glutes. The movement is being driven from the glutes and from our upper back, not necessarily from the low back. So we squeeze and then lift. Hold for 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. We're gonna go ahead, flipping over onto our backs again for our half of a Turkish get up. So we're going up onto the elbows here. 3, 2, 1. So having that dumbbell up, coming all the way up to the elbow, back down. Go. I was going too fast and I was starting to not feel it in my core. So if you go a little bit slower, you will really use our proper muscles that we're intending to use. So we're going to feel it a little bit more in the core. It's not about how fast we go, it's about our quality of reps. 45 seconds is 45 seconds, no matter how fast you perform the movement. We're actually going to get a little bit more out of it if we go slow. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to go ahead, flip over onto the other side. So we're getting ready. Again, if you don't have a dumbbell, you'll just hold your arm like this, and you'll still get better at the movement. 3, 2, 1. So exhaling nice and slow. Keep that core engaged. So still acting like someone's gonna punch you in the stomach. or you're crushing the apple, whichever one works best. Great job. Nice and slow up, nice and slow back. Get maybe 2 more in here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last 2 movements of this round, we have our dead bugs. So move down a little bit more. So we're gonna hold on to the opposite knee. 3, 2, 1. So I have my left hand to left knee, extending out, coming back in. Making sure we're exhaling, using the core to bring that arm and leg back in. Don't want to feel it in our hips as much. We really start to feel it in the hips. So what I've done, so instead of coming all the way down here, if you go a little bit higher, it's going to shorten the range of motion to really make sure that we're focusing on the core instead of using those hips. 3, 2, 1. All right. Do that same thing on the other side. And then we're going to have one more round. And then we'll do a couple cool down stretches. We'll be good to go for the rest of the evening. 3, 2, 1. So opposite hand this time. So my right hand onto the left knee. Great job. Nice, slow, and controlled. It's my leg today. A little too hard in the gym today. Got a little too excited since we can work out in there now. So if you're local to San Rafael, come say hi tomorrow. Open from 7 to 1, Monday through Friday. It's great to see everyone that's come in so far. 3, 2, 1. So hopefully we'll start to see some more people coming in this week and the rest of the year. We have our butterfly sit-ups coming up next. So we got 3, 2, 1. So this is our last round of this workout. So nice and slow. Activate the core. Come up, touch the feet, and back down. Awesome. It does help if we exhale when we exert ourselves. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have Supermans. Getting on the stomach. Squeeze those glutes. 3, 2, 1. So face down. Lifting those legs. Squeeze the glutes. Lift from the glutes here. Great job. I think I was forgetting to hold for 3 seconds the whole time. So if you forgot, that's okay, because I did too. We want to hold at the top for a few seconds. Down. 3, 2, 1. All right. On to our backs. We technically only have 2 more movements. And we're going to do one on each side. So we have our half Turkish get up here. 3, 2, 1. Whichever side you would like to start with. Going nice and slow. Lifting all the way up through the core. I find Once we start to move faster, we start to use other muscles to get up. So it's really important to go nice and slow. Really use the proper muscles intended for the movement. And the longer we take, the more muscle recruitment we are going to get. So we're going to be able to get a little bit stronger, recruit more muscle fibers. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got that same thing coming up on the other side. We only got this, and then our dead bugs, and then we'll cool down. 3, 2, 1. Coming up, exhaling, rising up, and then back down. Nice and slow. I'm starting to use my neck to pull there. So engage the core and then pull up. You can definitely tell if your core is not engaged when you move up. So I definitely feel it more in my neck because that means I'm trying to use my momentum to force myself up with other muscles. So it's really easy to mask a lot of core exercises by using the neck instead. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're done with our dumbbells. Roll that off to the side. Next up, we have the dead bugs. 3, 2, 1. So push that belly button into the ground, extending out, coming back in. So really nice and slow. Focus on using the core to pull back in. Great job. My core is definitely be tired after this one. Great job. Three, 2, 1. All right. Last movement of the evening. We've got our last dead bug. 3, 2, 1. So on the other leg. Keeping that belly button pushed into the ground. That's what's going to help us activate our core. I don't think y'all can hear this right now, but every time I extend my hip, it is popping. Which is why I always need to be careful with my right leg. And that's why I love this movement, because it really forces me to work on the core. Great job. We're almost there. We're probably going to get 1 to 2 more in. 3, 2, 1. That is going to be it for our abs and core class today. Nice job, everyone. Let's go ahead and get a sip of water if you need it. And we're going to make our way back onto our hands and our knees for part 1 of our cool down. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch out our hips a little bit more. We're also going to get a little bit of rotation in, kind of stretch out the spine a little bit. So we're going to do our quadruped rocks here with our adductor stretch. So my right leg is starting out to the side, which means that my right arm, when I go down to the bottom, we're going to reach through between the left arm, left leg, and then plant and come back. So keep that pinky toe on the ground. We're going to inhale, rock back. And we're going to exhale, reach through. And then plant that hand, return to center. So inhale, rock back. Exhale, reach through. Plant and return. And we're going to do one more. Inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And then plant that hand and return to center. And once we finish that last one, we can go ahead and move to the other side. So same thing here, left foot straight out to the side. We're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And then plant and return. And inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. Plant and return. And last one, inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And we'll go ahead and plant and return to center. All right, next thing we're going to do here is we're going to lay back down on the ground. We're going to stretch out our hips a little bit more. We're going to do our nice figure 4 piriformis stretch. So we're going to start off right ankle above left knee. And if that feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit more tension, let's go ahead and interlace those fingers and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin. Start to pull that knee towards the chest. Nice, big, deep belly breaths in through the nose. Sawing away that tension with each exhale. Let's go ahead and do one more big, deep breath on this side. We can gently bring that left foot to the ground and then the right foot. And we're gonna do that same thing on the other side. So this time we got the left ankle above the right knee. And if that feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little extra, let's go ahead and interlace those fingers. Grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and start to pull that towards that knee towards the chest. Nice, big deep belly breaths, feeling that low back expand, stretching out our hips a little bit. And let's go ahead and do one more big deep breath here. We can gently return that foot to the ground. And feel free to stay lying on your back. Or you can gently start to roll over onto your side. But that is going to be all the time I have for you all today. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope you feel a little bit more worked on your core a little bit today. We do have our full schedule tomorrow. So we got boot camp in the morning with Noelle at 6:30, and then we have boot camp at 12 with Jonathan, and we got yoga at 12:30 with Janet. We have Zumba with Ardui at 4:30, Pilates with Beth at 5. So we got a full schedule tomorrow. And then same thing Thursday and Friday. So great job today. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in a class some point this week.